Alright guys, hello and welcome back to the next episode of our Konnersport MyTeam career mode. Episode number 7, I believe it is. Going into the Imola, Romania Grand Prix, I believe it is. We have a couple more livery updates for Alpine and Mercedes. And now that I think of it, there's not going to be that many more livery updates throughout the season. Basically tried to make this season as realistic as possible, but I want to save a lot of the liveries that are on overtake for season 2 and season 3 and onward, as we're trying to figure out the bypass and team name changer in the background for next season. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this corporate facility event, or department event for the corporate facility, sorry. Board presentation. Took self. Didn't do much. Activities. Owner training communication. I don't know where my focus is right now. I don't remember what I did in the last episode. Recruitment. Who needs the most for recruitment? Oh, come on. Chassis level 1. Wait, there it was. Workforce. We need 15 people in engineering. We need 6 people in 7 people in personnel. We'll go engineering on that. We'll come back to this. Recruiting, engineering. Simulator improvements. We'll do chassis there. Personnel. Podium celebration. Durability. Wellness session. And then for corporate, fan outreach. We're trying to increase that fan rating as much as we can to meet the demands of our drivers. Merchandise, 5,000 MD at 20k. Do that, and that'll be fine. Activities done. Team owner messages, winning a rivalry against Mercedes. We won our rivalry against Mercedes for that race. We have any points right now? No, we don't. Engineering research. Unlock the Halo. Completed the Halo research. Unlocked rear wing upper flap. And that is it. See what it wants us to do. Rear floor under tray distribution. Okay. It's at a discount, so we'll do it. And I don't think we'll have enough points for another one. Yes, we do. MGUH, might as well. Was that for... Okay, that'll be after this race. So the research will finish. Development here. Let's go rotor speed. That'll be before Spain, hopefully. We're gonna have to click through that. Chassis, monocog structure, heave dampers. This failed again. 10 days. How many is this? I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money for those guys. Okay. Yeah, that's not fun. I don't have enough money for those guys. I have no upgrades to assign. Facility improvements. There was one of them that was level 1. Workforce increase 10. You don't have that much money. I wish there was an option to like quick filter affordable upgrades. Because we don't have any money for that. And I don't know where this development marker is going. Unless it's saying I have enough money for that. I don't. See, it won't let me. And it has that marker. I don't know. Drivers. We're still waiting for Sonoda and Antonelli for talks. It'll be a while for Antonelli, looks like. Driver market. Nothing really changed here. Other than the update for driver ratings. So that'll be good. Hopefully we'll see a change in the grid throughout this race weekend. Yeah, development. Like we don't have anything really important until the race. Research complete. Oh, I forgot to pay for all those activities.
Hey boss, what do you make of this?
We're down at 85k right now. Messages, cash flow critical. And assign upgrades. Oh, we do get upgrades. We'll give... Who's the higher rated driver? That's the question. Personnel upgrade. Payroll benefit restructure level 1. Who's the higher rated driver of our 2? Jackson. Callie Mayer is good to run on her own though. 90 racecraft, 88 pace, 98 focus. We're gonna give the DRS to Callie. And then give the ICE part to Jackson. Alright. Alright. Those are equipped. Their event, personnel event. There's concerns about staff morale, but is unsure of the root cause. Anonymous staff survey to uncover potential issues and improve workplace satisfaction. Let's go ahead. Alright. Alright, we got a big chunk of money there.
Hey, Chief. We've got multiple parts out of research. Don't forget to develop them. We've got performance sitting on the table that we could be getting into the car.
We don't have the money to develop parts. 300, 500. See, this is not enough days to... I keep pushing those parts back. It's so bad. Durability has one. Arrow. Do I go all out with a halo? Wait till Canada? I don't want to spend that much money though. We'll go again with the heat dampers and see if that will improve. Try to save a little bit of money. Monocoque structure. Give that to Kelly as well. That way they both have 27 parts. Kelly Mayer has the better stat here. Just barely though. Jackson has better aero. Looks like, I can't tell. But we'll see. Alright. Is it a sprint? No, it's not. We go well balanced for this weekend. And we'll see you guys after qualifying.
Welcome to Imola, the spiritual home of Ferrari. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just look at the red-clad Tifosi in the grandstands. They're ready. Are you ready? For the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers round 3.1 miles of track. 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Jackson, Russell, Charles Leclerc and Norris, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Ocon and Calimea, Tsunoda, Antonelli, and Sir Lewis Hamilton and Stroll, Albon, Doohan, Nico Hülkenberg and Ollie Behrman, Gasly, Bortoletto, Hadjar and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. And the whole world of Formula One can't exist the way we do, walking with smiles on our faces and loving our time together. This new outfit has got a bit of a rivalry going, and I get the feeling a few noses are being put out of joint here.
Well, that's a good thing though, Crofty. You know what? If you're a member of that team, the new 11th team, take it as a backhanded compliment. It means you're doing very well, too well, and the other teams don't like it.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway here in Italy. The front runners on the grid will want a nice fast start, as the opening chicane can provide some overtaking potential that they'll be keen to avoid. So as all the cars reform the grids, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
All right, there we have our strategies. We're going to be going onto a medium hard, and everybody's actually starting on the medium, so we don't know what the strategies are going to be like for this race. Aiden Jackson, third spot on the grid as we see the rest of the cars on the lineup. And I don't know what's going on with this timing table. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments. 5 red lights are off. We're off to a decent start. Piastri trying to cover off Verstappen. So we're moving on the inside. It's going to be 3 wide going along the main straight here. So we're side by side with Verstappen still. And we're coming out pretty clear here in the lead of the race. Mayer sitting P9. Bortoletto making a mistake. You see him drop down to P19. And I believe that's Lawson as well, as we're trying to take our time through these first few corners on these medium tires, trying to get heat into them because we do simulate the formation lap. And just like previous tracks, I've gotten myself pretty comfortable on these tracks and using the curves on the outside as we're leading Verstappen through sector 2, about 0.2 of a second here. As I believe it's the Mercedes that we updated for this race. I don't quite remember while we're doing the commentary, but the mods will be in the description. The Mercedes pack is part of the Mercedes livery is part of the race package that's been in the description since the beginning of the season, or so on and so forth as we go through the grid. up to Jackson. DRS on this lap. I'm not sure if Verstappen had DRS or not, but as we're coming around to this left-hander, we try to force him off the track, and that little move that we made as Jackson, he made contact with our, I thought it was our side pod, but it's going to be our underfloor that he made contact with, where that's basically jeopardizing our race. And Verstappen, you can see he lost a few positions to Russell and Leclerc, almost to the McLarens, as he's dropped down to P3, but we're still holding on to P1 against Russell now, who's about a half second back, as we're starting to come down the hill again for Sector 2 here in Imola. And going through these turns, I really started to feel like the initial impact that Verstappen made when we tried to force him wide. He didn't want to cede that spot, and he wanted to send it into that corner. So we're gonna have to deal with his actions for the duration of the rest of this race, as we're 6/10 ahead of Russell. Russell's gonna have DRS. We're trying to pull away through these two left-handers, about 7/10 back, and we're just gonna try and do our best about pushing battery and trying to defend as we're on board with Russell now. I don't know what's going on with this hand movement there, and maybe the dirty air from the realistic starts mod. I'm not sure exactly what it is. He takes a lot of curb there, as we see the position for second place. Going through the grid now to Callie Mayer, who's in a battle with Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton, who's sitting in P10 in that Ferrari. As I was kind of surprised, Carlos Sainz in the Williams up in P8, as we're still trying to push against Russell. Leclerc actually made a move there as we transitioned over, but we're moving on to lap 5 now, as we have Verstappen yet again behind us to see if we can defend against him. Piastri Norris ahead of Alonso Sainz, P8, Callie Mayer P9, so Hamilton has dropped down to P10. We're trying to push it down this main straight, DRS straight. Verstappen pushes on the outside, and we outbrake him on the inside, still fighting very aggressively, especially after the contact that we had on lap 2. So we're not a very happy camper right now against Verstappen, especially on these tires. About halfway through the tire life here, as we dip a tire into the grass. You guys saw the or heard the skidding and saw the reaction of our car. So we're trying to manage our tires to our pit stop. Tsunoda ended up retiring on lap 5 as we're coming through in sector 1. Now it is Piastri and Norris who made their move on Verstappen. Mayer actually in the background passing Verstappen, as I'm splitting the McLarens now. Piastri made a move, we couldn't defend him really, and this is where the top speed part of the game, which is an ongoing issue even after the 1.07 patch, and the fact that our underfloor is damaged. It's like a light orange, yellowish orange, so it's not too bad of damage, maybe 25-30% damage to the underfloor, but it's still affecting us to where we are losing ground. Next up, lap 10, Norris ahead of Mayer, Verstappen back in P7, Hamilton back up to P8, as we are fighting to defend our positions. Norris making a move on the inside, a little bit of scrub on the wall for him as he makes contact with our front wing, and I'm surprised we don't have that much front wing damage at this moment. Doing the same move we did on Verstappen earlier in the race, I believe. Outbreaking them on the inside and pushing as much as we can. Lap 11 now, the next lap. Mayer following Norris, following Jackson. Verstappen dropping a position from Hamilton, as Mayer makes the move on Norris, not quite close enough to Jackson, as it's now 2 Konnersports in the top 5. Russell leading by 3 seconds already against Leclerc. The gap again 8 seconds between Leclerc and Piastri, so these front runners with that fresh air just pulling away, as Jackson and Mayer are leading a mini train of Norris, Hamilton, Verstappen. Antonelli out of DRS range. See if he can make a move later on in the race, but it's lap 14. Jackson coming into the pits, giving a little bit of a DRS advantage to Callie Mayer to try and defend against Norris. That's going to be Leclerc in as well as Russell. So the top 3, top 2 fighting in the pits. Mayer leading Hamilton occasionally for the lead here on lap 15. If you guys didn't already notice, we had some pit stops earlier in the race, so there are definite two stoppers going on as we come down this long exit of the Imola pit lane. And we're going to be coming right in the traffic of Pierre Gasly, Doohan, and Albon as we have Stroll and Gasly fighting ahead of us. And I didn't want to get really into the battle because Stroll in the last few games, especially 23, has not been a good driver, always making mistakes, so I'm not looking forward to being around him in Qatar. If you guys remember that in our Williams career mode in 23. As we're going to be moving on to lap 15, where Mayer is making her pit against Lewis Hamilton. I believe Norris as well. Yep, Mayer, Hamilton, Norris, and Antonelli coming into the pits. All the front runners, and that's Russell staying out. So Russell, I believe, is going for a long run. Wait, no, Russell's already gone. He's ahead of Leclerc. Short term here. Alonso pushing a two-stop. He's up to third place. Hamilton P4, Norris P5. Jackson back in P12 as a lot of our drivers are coming through the grid. You can see the grid changes here as Jackson, Gasly, Stroll are fighting. Mayer coming out behind Norris. Verstappen moving up into P13 ahead of Norris as Mayer's P15 on this back half of the race now. From this big train in the midfield, it's going to be a mix of both the one-stoppers and the two-stoppers. Of course, the one-stoppers pushing their laps back to the end of lap 15, lap 16, lap 18 now. And the grid changes up a little bit. Piastri up in P4, Sainz in P5 with that two-stop strategy. And that's Hamilton behind us. They're actually on the left side and passing us now with DRS open. Gasly 3 seconds behind. We actually tried to hold off Hamilton as much as possible. We were trying to increase the gap as well as close in on Carlos Sainz. We couldn't quite get close enough to Carlos Sainz, but there's still plenty of race to go as we lose some ground on Hamilton. And Gasly still 3.2 seconds behind and losing ground. So these hard tires getting temperature into them and using the tow from the drivers ahead to try to stay within the top 10 as a long-term strategy. Lap 20 now, Hamilton ahead of Jackson. We have DRS, but we're too far back to include ourselves in the fight. We see Hamilton make a move on Sainz. We got a lot of power behind us coming through this first left-hander. We make a move on the inside of Williams, of Carlos Sainz. We push him over to the curb. We see the position as we did not have the racing line, so we're going to close in on him as much as we can, getting that gearbox right in the back of his car, or getting the front wing into the gearbox of his car, trying to make a move here in Sector 2. But this is going to be the ongoing battle between us and Carlos Sainz. Norris is leading Mayer about 3.6 seconds behind us as we're at 21 and 32. Coming down the hill in Sector 2, we gain a lot of time here in this sector because it's a lot of space you can use for the braking zone to get the power down coming up this hill for the chicane. We're going to be making a move on the outside of the chicane here. And inside, we get the racing line. Carlos Sainz cedes the position as the back end tries to step out on Jackson. That's going to be P6 for Jackson as of right now. Norris now 3 seconds behind Carlos Sainz as they're going to be trying to close in and making up some positions as they are running faster. You guys can tell they already made up about a half second throughout this lap and throughout the battle between myself and Sainz. Hamilton making a move on Alonso. Actually, no, that's going to be Alonso in the pits. I believe Carlos Sainz ducked into the pits as well. Moving on to lap 26 is when we actually decide, okay, let's let off a little bit after this main straight to see what happens. Try to get Mayer a position and keep Norris behind us. So I'm full throttling it down this main straight, of course, not to lose position there. We see Norris making a move on Mayer for P6. Verstappen back up into P8. Alonso P9. Carlos Sainz still holding on to P10 5 seconds clear between P10 and P11. And as we look at the front of the grid, while you guys are watching this battle, we have Russell 4.5 seconds ahead of Leclerc, and Piastri 16.5 seconds behind. And just tells you how much this game, just improvement from the last few years, because these cars, even though they have that straight line speed, they do gain a lot of ground and make it very challenging. So we're coming through sector 2, trying to give more of a gap here against Norris and Mayer, but Norris is already 3/10 back, so they're going to be making a move on us down the main straight. They're both going to have the RS. We're not going to have anything else other than battery to try and defend. The goal is to try to get Cali ahead of us, but Norris is right in the middle of this mix as we're coming down to the double left-hander here in sector 3. I'm not sure why the number was tripping out like that, but it's the only time that I've seen it so far in this race. As we're on board with Cali Mayer, DRS open for both of them. Norris ahead, the hand movement again for Cali this time as they both overtake Jackson, and that was a bad decision on our part because throughout the rest of this race we just tried to stick with them and we couldn't do it. So Jackson dropped down to P7 from P5. Norris ahead of Mayer, battling through the end of sector 1 here into sector 2 as we're moving up the hill. Russell, Leclerc, Piastri is our top 3. Let's see if it's going to be the same as we're trying to push battle right now between us, Mayer, and Norris. A little friendly battle between us, but on the final lap, it's going to be the same grid positions for us. Norris is going to be finishing in P5, Cali Mayer P6, and Aiden Jackson P7 for the end of this race here in Imola. No safety cars, but that's okay.
Here's the checkered flag. Here's our winner. By George, he's done it. Russell wins.
To overcome the difficult circumstances they face throughout this race today, Crofty, it's not easy, and it really shows a lot of maturity, and you can use this, you can draw on this as a driver moving forward and boost your confidence through the rest of the championship.
It's been a hard afternoon of brilliant racing, but now it's time for some proper celebrations. The podium awaits. By George, he was good today. The top step awaits for George Russell. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
All right, there we have it. The results for our Imola Grand Prix. Starting third behind Max Verstappen in that lap 1 damage. That was not fun. We had to deal with that the whole time. Aiden Jackson having the underfloor damage, and we probably would have finished in P5 at least. But we did lower our wing setup for the straight line speed. The cars still have the straight line speed issues where they just take off on us, where you can see the 6-second gap between George Russell and Charles Leclerc. And I completely forgot that some people were going to be doing 2 stops, and they actually did pretty good. Alexander Albon up to P15, from P15 up to P11. Pierre Gasly, for example, P19 to P12. So they all gained positions there. But the highlight of the race for me was the damage between Aiden Jackson and Max Verstappen. We were fighting for the podium at the beginning of the race, and that really hindered us. So he probably had damage as well. But the race must go on, and we move on to Monaco in the next episode, as we're going to go ahead and look at the standings for driver standings. Piastri right there in the mix of the battle. We tried to finish ahead of Callie Mayer to try to even out the points because we were only like, I think 3 points between each other, between Aiden and Callie Mayer, as Max Verstappen pulls away. Oh no, Norris tries to close the gap, but Leclerc and Hamilton ahead of Callie Mayer, Oscar Piastri, and Aiden Jackson. Yuki Tsunoda back there with 32 points. And then I believe, yeah, that's still 5 drivers who haven't scored points for the season as we go into constructors. 1 point between us and Mercedes. Kimi did not have a great race today. We didn't really pay attention to the backfield, but our battle is with Mercedes right now, as Red Bull is battling Ferrari for second place, as McLaren pulls away in the lead, 17 points ahead of Ferrari. And that is our recap for the end of this race. So without further ado, we will go ahead and see you guys in the next episode for a mandatory 2-stop Monaco race. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. See you guys in the next one.